Before I start the review, I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm going to tell you whether I recommend this film to anyone. And my answer is nope. Hello my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review the latest film by Jordan Peele, Nope. Written and directed by Jordan Peele and released in 2022. Oh, Nope. This is the latest sort of, I guess, sci-fi horror movie. It's directed by Jordan Peele, who directed Get Out, which was that amazing horror film that came out a good few years ago now. He also made another film called Us, but I haven't seen that one yet. Maybe I will watch it at some point to catch up with his work. But yeah, I saw the trailers for this movie and I was intrigued to go and see it. And it's, let's just say it's out now and it's getting its response, however mixed that may be. So, the plot is as follows. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. So, Nope. It pains me to say this, but I really didn't like this movie. I really wanted to love this film because I thought Get Out was a fantastic film. Jordan Peele is a great director, or at least I thought he was. And it just seems like this movie was trying to be too much of something that it probably shouldn't have been. I am all for artistic filmmaking, but I think in this particular case it came off as quite pretentious, and the ideas that Jordan Peele has are going to confuse a lot of people, and a lot of this is going to go over people's heads. Like, it certainly went over my head. The movie opens with this quote about spectacle, and I think that's what the movie's trying to tell us, is that it is how people respond and try to contain this spectacle and then try to exploit this spectacle. I'm guessing that's the message of the movie. It's something to do with spectacle. It's a bit weird, to be perfectly honest, but everything surrounding that kind of central message is bogged down by how overstuffed this movie really is. This movie focuses on like 2 or 3 different subplots which don't particularly make a huge amount of sense in the context of this. The central plot being the UFO plot with this brother and sister called OJ and Emerald, and they're trying to keep their father's business alive because their dad tragically dies, and they use their horses in like stunt scenes for films. And then OJ is trying to keep the business going, whereas the sister is very much focused on her own life and trying to get a career in Hollywood and and all of that kind of stuff. So it's quite an odd dynamic that they have, and OJ's very deadpan, very low key, whereas Emerald is the complete opposite. She's out there, she's quite confident, and she's very sure of herself. And when they discover the UFO, they get in touch with this guy who works in a shop, and they sort of work together to try and discover what the hell's going on. And as you can imagine, the first sort of 2/3 of the movie really build up to what this all is and what this all means. And we do get some really fantastic horror scenes, particularly the scene at night where OJ's in his car and he's got the lock on, and then they're inside the house. The sister and the shop assistant are inside the house and they're being attacked by the UFO. There's some generally chilling scenes, and those were some of my favourites in the movie, where I thought the tension was really ramping up. There's also this other subplot regarding this Asian man who was once a child actor, and he had this unfortunate traumatic encounter with an ape creature. I don't exactly know what it refers to in the story. It's kind of confusing. It really, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense. Someone else may look at this film and go, wow, it's beautiful, because they understand all the subtext and what Jordan Peele was trying to do. For me, other than the whole idea about spectacle, I don't see how all of this connects, and it really is, to me, it's a convoluted mess. I just couldn't make sense of it. The pace of this movie is incredibly slow. I feel like the film is far too drawn out for its own good. And the middle act particularly drags quite a lot, and that for me made me lose a lot of interest, to the point where I was almost dozing. I'm not even going to lie. And then in the third act, it seems to be very rushed when they're trying to explain what is happening, and the reveal of what this all is and the whole UFO thing, you know, what that sort of morphs into, and how what that changes into, and what we're supposed to take away from that, I have no idea. The ending is a confusing, pretentious mess. I feel like Jordan Peele was trying too hard to be artistic with this film. It should have. I'm not saying it should have been like a dumb, simple movie, but at the very least, it should have had some context. I didn't understand the context. Thing is, the premise was quite simple, but again, everything surrounding it was just really convoluted. And the ending, it's not exactly a huge, bombastic, action-packed climax, which we were expecting. I'm okay with them trying to surprise us, but I felt like Peele was trying too hard to surprise us, and I left the cinema really confused. Honestly, if anybody knows what this film is about, then please let me know. All I could gather was it was the two siblings trying to fight this UFO and discover what it was, and there was something about a retail guy, a guy who owns a camera, and also this ape. Like, yeah, like, it was really weird, and the CGI for the ape is not good, really. One of the best things about the film, though, is the music. The score is really good. I think the music is great, and the tension when it's there is fantastic. But if they just cut the movie down by at least 10-15 minutes, then the tension would have been constant throughout. And if they hadn't tried too hard to be artistic with the ending and tried to do this really weird twist where we're supposed to understand the symbols and conventions and whatever Peele is trying to say, because there's so much going on, it's so overstuffed, you can't sort of pick this movie apart. Well, I certainly can't pick this movie apart and go, how does this link to this? Like, it feels like there's so many things that don't link. It feels like almost 2 or 3 films in one to some degree. But yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. I'm very sorry. I was just particularly disappointed with this movie. I've heard like reviews that say, oh, this movie's meant to be like a metaphor of like the state of the entertainment industry, and it's meant to be somewhat of a commentary on that and the spectacle about that. But that may be so, but the way the movie executed that was incredibly confusing. So I'm sorry. For me, it's a thumbs down. It's a nope from me. I will have to give this movie I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I'm really sorry. It's really disappointing. Although what I will say, the performances aren't too bad. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya's not bad, and Keke, they do carry the movie. I think they are quite good in the scenes they're in, and the movie is beautifully shot, and those horror sequences are really good. I think if the movie was a straight-up horror film, then that would have been good. You know, it didn't need to be so pretentious and artistic. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with films being pretentious and artistic when it's done right, and when the audience can understand. When they look at a film, they have to read between the lines and see what's going on. But because there's so much here, it's so hard to dissect this movie. That's all I'm saying. But, you know, to each their own. If you like this movie, good on you. But I didn't. So anyway, that's my review of Nope. Stay tuned for more reviews to come in the future. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. Thank you for watching. See ya. Bye for now.